Sure, you may remember me from such movies as Shark Bites, How They'll Kill You. Uh-oh. I broke it. All right, so America loves a train wreck. So I'm Mike Higdon, and you can follow me at Mike Higdon on Twitter. So most of you probably think of train wrecks as being something that we deal with in politics. Amy Schumer when she disses Reno. Yeah, she's mean. Or maybe a friend of yours who's just too much of a mess. But today, I'm actually going to talk about real trains. So get on the Doc Brown time train with me, because we're going to go back to 1896 to a town called Crush, Texas. It's a temporary city, kind of like Black Rock City and Burning Man, so it's not there anymore. It's outside of Waco, Texas, and that's where the story begins. It's a very fun story. It was a depression. It wasn't a Great Depression so much, like the one everyone's always raving about in the 1930s, but there was a depression, and the economy was driven by trains in those days. So if the trains weren't moving, commerce wasn't moving. So when getting the trains moving is kind of what got the economy going. So there's this guy named William George Crush, and everyone has the last name of Crush, and he realized when people saw train wrecks, they would actually go out to look at the carnage and the destruction and the scalded bodies, and people would just be like, "Oh shit, yeah, this is amazing." And so he went to his boss and said, "What if we had our own train wreck?" And his boss, I imagine, was like, "That's brilliant, man." So he staged a real train wreck between two dilapidated trains. And I imagine this is what the advertisement looked like, because I couldn't find it on Google, but this is what happened when I looked up Monster Crash. And so what they did is they charged $2 round trip from wherever you were to get to that. And for inflation people, that's $50 nowadays. But the actual event was free. So let's recap a little bit, because it's a little fucked up. We want to save the economy through moving trains, so let's charge people $50 to watch trains crash. America, greatest country, starts with an M. So 40,000 people showed up, which was twice what he thought would actually show up. So just imagine there's this big field out there, there's 40,000 people, there was a Ringling Brothers tent with a super restaurant in it, which is probably, I don't know, like Campo or something, I guess. And so they took these two trains, they painted them bright red and bright blue, and they built 4 miles of track out in the middle of nowhere, because we're safe about this, right? We don't want to put this on the main track, guys. That would be crazy. And this is an actual picture of the two trains backing up. And while this is happening, the police are like, "Hey guys, can you back up? Because train crash, so don't be so close to it." And people are like, "Fuck you, coppers, we're gonna get closer, because this is gonna be amazing." So the newspaper actually described them as, this is like a drawing from the event, that the trains hit each other and lifted up off the ground, which is probably pretty amazing, until the boilers exploded. And when the boilers exploded, stuff stopped being funny, because that's when the chains and the shrapnel, according to the newspaper, some guy got nearly decapitated, which I guess is slightly better than fully decapitated. Someone's head was crushed by a train. The photographer got hit in the eye with a bolt and lost his eye, because irony is still a thing in the 19th century. And so afterwards, people were like, "Whoa, that was really wild. We should steal all the cast iron because we can get money from that." Again, America, greatest country, starts with an M. So the aftermath was, of course, a bunch of people whose families got injured. They got a bunch of free shit. So they got a bunch of money, and then a lifetime ride on the train. Because nothing says, like if you had a plane crash now and you got to then fly on airplanes for the rest of your life, that'd be super great, right? So then Mr. Crush got fired. Just kidding. He got rehired the next day because they didn't have that much bad publicity. I know. He still works there today. And there were actually a lot of train wrecks that people planned afterwards in other places, like San Francisco and stuff too, because it was such a great visionary idea, right? And then Scott Joplin wrote a song about it, because you need to write a song about a train crash. There's all these notes in his music that said there was supposed to be all this train crash sound effects and stuff, and you can Google that and be really disappointed when no one else added that to the current YouTube versions of it. So I tried to think about, what's the moral? We're all supposed to learn something from history, right? And this one's a really hard one to kind of learn something from, because it's a little bit tragic. So I guess the first lesson is America just does dumb shit to make money, and also loves train wrecks because it's really cool, and we could probably watch it today. And then the second lesson is a little bit darker, so I'm sorry for that being the last thing that you hear today. But basically, sometimes there's no hero, and sometimes life is just a train wreck, and we all stand there watching, paralyzed with delight and fear, and there's nothing we can do about it. So at least you get out alive. Happy 2017.